I will speak now of judgment, not the judgment of courts alone, but the judgment of the heart, the mind, and the spirit. For many speak, yet few reveal truth. Words are easily shaped. Intent is not. I learned early that truth does not always rise with volume. Often, it hides beneath calm speech and measured silence. Many believe judgment is about choosing sides, but wisdom knows it is about seeing beyond appearances. I was given authority not merely to rule, but to discern, to separate emotion from fact, to listen not only to what is said, but to what is avoided. Men lie with words, but truth reveals itself through behavior. This is the first lesson. The wise do not rush to decide. Haste blinds judgment. Emotion clouds perception. The impatient judge surface. The patient uncover depth. I observed many leaders who ruled by reaction. They judged quickly, spoke loudly, and acted decisively, yet destroyed justice. For decisiveness without understanding is not strength. It is recklessness. True judgment begins with stillness. Before I answered, I listened. Before I acted, I observed. Silence is not weakness. It is space where truth reveals itself. When two men argue, each presents a version. The unwise choose the one that sounds convincing. The wise ask, what is missing? Truth often hides in what is not said. I learned that those who deceive over-explain. Those who speak truth often speak simply. This is not always so, but often enough to guide the attentive. The second lesson is emotional distance. I did not allow sympathy to replace justice, nor anger to replace clarity. Emotion demands quick relief. Wisdom demands lasting accuracy. Many judges fail because they feel before they think. They identify with pain and abandon discernment. But compassion without wisdom creates injustice. Justice without compassion creates cruelty. Balance is required. To feel, yet not be ruled by feeling. To care, yet not be manipulated. This balance is rare, and therefore true judgment is rare. The third lesson is understanding human nature. Men reveal themselves under pressure, not in comfort, not in praise, but when something valuable is threatened. Watch what a man protects. Watch what he sacrifices. Watch what he is willing to lose. These reveal truth more clearly than testimony. I observed this repeatedly. When honor is at stake, some lie. When gain is at stake, some betray. When love is at stake, some reveal their true heart. The wise judge do not create pressure accidentally. They apply it deliberately, not to harm, but to reveal. Truth resists exposure. Falsehood collapses under it. The fourth lesson is patience with complexity. Many matters are not simple. They cannot be solved with one question or one response. The foolish demand clarity immediately. The wise allow ambiguity until understanding forms. They gather details. They compare patterns. They wait. This waiting is not inaction. It is preparation. For when the moment comes, the wise act with certainty. The fifth lesson is responsibility. Judgment carries weight. Every decision shapes lives. Therefore, judgment must never be casual. Those who enjoy judging others are least suited to do so. The wise feel the burden before they feel authority. I did not take pleasure in deciding fates. I took responsibility, and responsibility demands humility. To know that even wisdom must be exercised carefully. In the next part, I will speak of a moment that revealed these lessons fully. A judgment that tested wisdom itself and exposed truth without argument, without force, and without lies. A moment where truth was revealed not by words, but by the heart. Now I will speak of a case that revealed the nature of true judgment, not because it was rare, but because it was human. Two women stood before me. Their voices were firm, their words confident, their stories nearly identical. Each claimed truth. Each denied falsehood. To the untrained ear, there was no difference. This is where many judges fail. They listen only to speech, measure emotion, and choose the louder voice. But truth is not impressed by volume. Both women spoke of loss. Both spoke of injustice. Both spoke with urgency. Yet urgency proves nothing. For desperation can imitate honesty. I did not interrupt. I allowed them to speak fully. When a man lies, he wishes to finish quickly. When truth is spoken, it can endure silence. So I waited. I watched their eyes, their hands, their breath. The body reveals what the tongue conceals. One woman spoke of the child as possession. The other spoke of the child as life. This difference was subtle. But subtlety is where truth hides. Many seek dramatic signs. The wise seek patterns. The first woman repeated facts. The second repeated concern. Facts can be memorized. Concern cannot be rehearsed. Still, I did not judge. For wisdom does not decide on inclination alone. I needed certainty. Judgment must not rely on instinct, but on revelation. So I considered human nature. When something precious is threatened, the heart speaks louder than the mouth. Fear strips pretense. Pressure reveals allegiance. This is why I chose not to question further. More questions create more words. More words create more confusion. Instead, I chose action. Not violent action, but decisive testing. I ordered a sword, not to destroy, but to reveal. This moment was not cruelty. It was clarity. The proposal shocked all who heard it. Even my own court grew silent. But silence is where truth steps forward. I did not explain myself. Explanation weakens revelation. I allowed the moment to do the work. For when truth is present, it does not need defense. The words I spoke were not the judgment. They were the mirror. I said what needed to be said to expose the heart, not to execute the act. Some think wisdom is clever speech. It is not. Wisdom is understanding consequence. I knew how a true mother would respond. Love does not calculate fairness. It chooses preservation. This is the law of the heart. The false claimant desired victory. The true mother desired life. No argument could reveal this. Only threat, only loss, only surrender. This is a truth many refuse to accept. People reveal themselves not when they gain, but when they are about to lose. Watch carefully what a man sacrifices. Watch carefully what he refuses to surrender. These expose allegiance more clearly than testimony. The sword was never meant to fall. It was meant to pause. In that pause, truth moved. And of the next part, I will speak of the moment when silence broke, emotion surfaced, and the heart revealed itself without a single lie spoken. This is where judgment is sealed, not by power, but by compassion, tested. Now I will speak of the moment when truth revealed itself without argument and without force. The sword was raised, not in motion, but in presence. And presence alone was enough. The court watched. The air grew heavy. No one spoke. This silence was not empty. It was full of truth. In that stillness, the heart could no longer hide. One woman remained still. Her face hardened. Her eyes did not move toward the child, but toward the outcome. She measured victory. The other woman broke, not with strategy, not with defense, but with surrender. Her voice changed, not louder, but urgent with life. She cried out, not for fairness, but for mercy. "Give the child to her," she said. "Only let him live." In that moment, no argument was needed. No witness was required. No testimony could add clarity. The heart had spoken plainly. True love does not negotiate. It sacrifices. The true mother chose loss over harm. The false claimant chose gain without cost. This is how truth separates itself, not by what is claimed, but by what is surrendered. Many misunderstand this moment. They think the wisdom was in the command, but the wisdom was in understanding response. I did not guess. I did not hope. I knew. Because human nature does not change under pressure. It reveals itself. Love protects. Pride competes. Self-interest calculates. Compassion yields. These laws are constant. They govern every judgment, every conflict, every hidden truth. I spoke then, not to explain, but to conclude. The child was returned to the one who valued life above possession. Justice was served without violence, without deception, and without delay. The court was astonished, not because of cleverness, but because truth felt undeniable. This is the power of proper judgment. When truth is revealed, it does not argue. It settles. The people feared the judgment, not because it was harsh, but because it was precise. Precision commands respect. I did not rejoice in the outcome. Justice is not celebration. It is alignment. When right is restored, order returns. This moment taught many a lesson beyond the case itself. That truth lives deeper than words. That emotion, when tested, cannot be faked. That those who truly love will choose loss to preserve what matters. I observed faces in the court. Some were relieved. Some were uncomfortable. For true judgment exposes more than the case. It exposes the observer. Those who saw themselves in the false claimant felt unease. Those who saw themselves in the true mother felt peace. Judgment always reflects inward. This is why many avoid it, not because it is difficult, but because it is revealing. In this moment, my authority was not increased by fear, but by trust. The people knew that truth would be sought, not appearances rewarded. This is leadership, not control, but confidence that justice will be wise. In the next part, I will speak of what this judgment teaches about discernment in everyday life, how to see truth in conflict, in leadership, and in personal decisions when words deceive and emotions mislead. Now I will speak of what this judgment teaches beyond the court. For judgment is not needed only by kings. Every man judges daily, whom to trust, whom to follow, whom to believe, and whom to avoid. Many are misled, not because truth is hidden, but because they listen to the wrong signals. The first principle is this: words alone are insufficient. Men learn quickly how to sound sincere. They borrow language, repeat virtue, and imitate concern. But imitation collapses under pressure. Therefore, the wise do not test words. They test reactions. When expectation is challenged, truth emerges. Observe how a man responds when his advantage is threatened. Does he seek resolution or domination? Does he protect what matters or only what benefits him? These answers are rarely spoken. They are revealed. The second principle is emotional alignment. True intention aligns emotion and action. False intention separates them. A man may speak of loyalty, yet abandon responsibility. He may speak of care, yet resist sacrifice. Where words and behavior disagree, believe behavior. Emotion that is genuine does not perform. It responds. The third principle is patience in observation. Many judge too quickly because they fear uncertainty. They want closure, not clarity. But clarity requires time. The wise allow situations to unfold until patterns appear. Patterns cannot be faked for long. Consistency reveals truth more reliably than explanation. Those who deceive eventually contradict themselves. Those who speak truth remain aligned. The fourth principle is understanding motive. Ask not only what is being said. Ask what is being sought. Every action pursues something: power, security, recognition, control, love. When motive is understood, behavior becomes predictable. And when behavior is predictable, judgment becomes accurate. The fifth principle is detachment from outcome. Many fail to judge rightly because they want a certain result. They desire peace, approval, or advantage. This desire blinds perception. The wise seek truth, even when it disrupts comfort. They are willing to be disappointed to avoid being deceived. This is strength. The sixth principle is creating moments of revelation. The wise do not wait passively for truth to appear. They create conditions where truth must reveal itself, not through accusation, but through choice, not through pressure alone, but through consequence. Give men space to choose. Choice exposes loyalty more clearly than questioning. The seventh principle is humility in judgment. Even when truth is revealed, judge carefully. Do not rejoice in being right. Do not humiliate the exposed. Justice is not triumph. It is restoration of order. The wise correct firmly, but without cruelty. For today's judged may be tomorrow's ally. The eighth principle is self-judgment. Before judging others, the wise examine themselves. For the same laws apply inward. What do you protect when tested? What do you sacrifice when pressured? Your answers reveal your own truth. This reflection strengthens discernment. A man who understands himself is harder to deceive. The ninth principle is restraint in speech. Once truth is clear, few words are needed. Over-explanation invites confusion. The wise speak decisively, then allow silence to settle the matter. Authority is felt, not argued. The 10th principle is consistency. Judgment is not a single act. It is a practice, refined through repetition, reflection, and humility. Those who practice discernment daily become calm in conflict and clear in chaos. They are not easily manipulated. They are not rushed into error. They see beyond words. As I did in that court, so can any man in his own life. In the next part, I will speak of leadership, how discernment shapes authority, why wise leaders create trust, and why fools demand obedience but never receive loyalty. Now I will speak of leadership, for leadership is not proven by command, but by trust. Many rule through fear, few lead through wisdom. Authority may be granted by position, but legitimacy is earned by judgment. The people do not follow those who speak the loudest. They follow those who see clearly. In the court, it was not the sword that established authority. It was restraint. When leaders react emotionally, they weaken their position. When they pause, observe, and decide with clarity, their authority deepens. I learned that people watch leaders more than they listen to them. They observe consistency. They notice restraint. They sense fairness. This is how trust is formed, quietly, over time. The first law of wise leadership is discernment over dominance. A leader who must constantly assert power has already lost it. True authority does not need repetition. It is felt. The second law is calm in conflict. When disputes arise, many leaders rush to silence tension. They seek quick peace, not lasting justice. But unresolved truth returns stronger. The wise leader allows tension to reveal reality. He does not fear disagreement. He fears blindness. The third law is protecting what truly matters. In judgment, the true mother revealed herself by choosing life over victory. So it is with leaders. Watch what they protect. Do they protect people or their image? Do they protect truth or convenience? A leader who sacrifices truth for comfort will eventually sacrifice people as well. The fourth law is accountability without humiliation. Wise leadership corrects error without crushing dignity. Public shame creates obedience, but destroys loyalty. Correction, guided by wisdom, creates growth. I did not humiliate the false claimant. I restored order. This distinction matters. The fifth law is creating clarity, not dependency. Poor leaders make others reliant on their constant instruction. Wise leaders create understanding. They teach how to think, not what to repeat. This is why judgment must be visible, but not theatrical. People must understand the principle, not just the outcome. The sixth law is consistency across cases. Favoritism destroys authority. Inconsistency invites suspicion. The people trust leaders who judge by principle, not by preference. The seventh law is humility before truth. Even a king must remain teachable. The moment a leader believes he cannot be wrong, he becomes dangerous. Wisdom listens even after authority is established. The eighth law is silence after decision. Once judgment is rendered, do not argue it. Do not justify excessively. Silence allows order to settle. Noise invites doubt. The ninth law is awareness of influence. Every judgment teaches others how to behave. It sets precedent. Wise leaders judge with the future in mind, not only this moment, but the pattern it creates. The 10th law is inner judgment. A leader who cannot judge himself cannot judge others. Examine your motives. Examine your reactions. Examine what you protect when tested. This inner clarity creates outer authority. This is why the people feared the judgment, not fear of punishment, but reverence for wisdom. They knew that truth would be sought, not appearances rewarded. Such leadership creates peace, not forced peace, but trusted order. In the next part, I will speak of deception, how lies survive through words, how truth survives through consistency, and how the wise expose falsehood without accusation. Now I will speak of deception, for many are deceived not because lies are clever, but because truth is quiet. The loudest voices often conceal emptiness. Those who shout, boast, or insist may hide the weakest motives. The first principle of detection is observation, not interrogation. Watch actions. Watch reactions. Watch what is surrendered and what is defended. Words can be borrowed, stories repeated, but conduct reveals the heart. The second principle is patience. Lies cannot endure under time. They require constant attention, energy, and invention. Truth persists naturally. Allow situations to unfold. Do not rush exposure. The third principle is consistency. Compare what is claimed to what is shown. Observe repeated behavior. Falsehood shifts under scrutiny. Truth remains aligned. The fourth principle is emotional clarity. Those who manipulate rely on fear, on distraction, on desire. Observe where emotion aligns with principle and where it does not. Conflicted emotion often signals deception. Pure, consistent emotion signals truth. The fifth principle is testing choice. Expose motives without harm. Present options, not accusations. Observe what is chosen, not what is argued. This is how the true mother revealed herself in the court. She chose life for the child, not victory for herself. Her choice required no defense. The false claimant chose advantage over life. No further argument was necessary. The sixth principle is reflection. Always ask, what would I do in this place? Empathy, guided by wisdom, reveals patterns. Walk in another's position mentally, and inconsistencies become visible. The seventh principle is detachment. Do not let desire for a particular outcome blind judgment. Lies appear plausible to those who hope, fear, or crave. The wise observe without attachment. The eighth principle is silence as a tool. Truth often emerges in pauses, in hesitation, in the choice not to speak. The quiet reveals more than questioning. The ninth principle is humility. Never assume you see all. Falsehood may be layered, truth may be subtle. Check again, observe again. The 10th principle is reinforcement through consistency. Apply these methods daily. Observe actions, not words. Compare patterns. Allow patience to reveal inconsistencies. Train the mind to detect subtle shifts. Truth becomes visible even in the absence of confession. Deception cannot endure constant, calm observation. Truth is patient. It does not shout. It does not demand. It exists. And when observed, it guides decisions, shapes justice, and strengthens authority. In the next part, I will conclude the series with the final lessons: how to combine discernment, judgment, and leadership into a life of lasting wisdom and authority. Now I will speak of the final lesson, for wisdom is not complete until it is lived. Judgment, discernment, and leadership are not for the moment alone. They are daily practices, woven into every choice, every interaction, every decision. The first principle is integration. Observe truth in all matters, in speech, in action, in silence. Do not separate the personal from the professional, nor the small from the great. Each decision is an opportunity to practice discernment. The second principle is patience. Even the wise do not understand all at once. Life reveals complexity slowly. Do not rush judgment, nor cling to certainty prematurely. Allow truth to emerge gradually. The third principle is humility. A wise leader knows the limits of knowledge. Even experience is incomplete. Consult others, reflect, and be willing to adjust. The fourth principle is courage. Discernment requires courage to act against appearance, to defend truth, and to challenge deception. The fifth principle is balance. Justice without compassion is cruelty. Compassion without justice is weakness. Leadership, judgment, and wisdom require harmony. The sixth principle is observation. Words are many. Truth is subtle. Watch carefully. The choices people make under pressure, the sacrifices they accept, the motives they hide. These reveal reality more clearly than any speech. The seventh principle is responsibility. Every judgment carries consequence. Every choice shapes lives. Act deliberately, with awareness of impact, and with respect for all involved. The eighth principle is action after reflection. Do not delay endlessly in thought, but do not act hastily in impulse. The wise act decisively after careful understanding. The ninth principle is integrity. Consistency in thought, word, and deed builds trust, influence, and lasting authority. The 10th principle is perseverance. Wisdom is cultivated over time through trial and observation. Daily practice in judgment, discernment, and leadership creates not only skill, but character. Remember the lesson of the child and the true mother. Truth is revealed quietly, under pressure, through choice, and through selflessness. Observe this in all you do. Trust that clarity comes through patience, not haste. Act with compassion, yet with firmness. Lead not to dominate, but to guide. Judge not for glory, but for alignment with truth. Deception will crumble under steady observation. The honest heart will reveal itself without boasting or argument. This is the power of living wisdom. To see beyond words, to act with clarity, to lead with integrity, and to judge with understanding. A life lived with these principles is a life of influence, stability, and respect, not through fear, nor through force, but through truth. Let this be your guide, for wisdom is not simply knowledge. It is applied understanding, tempered by patience, shaped by experience, and proven through action. Thus ends the teaching. Apply it daily. Let truth guide your words. Let integrity guide your actions, and let discernment guide your judgment.